are temporary. Fierce is forever. Avon 39, the walk to end breast cancer. Warriors wanted. Register today at avon39.org.
WJLA maintains quarterly children's television reports in its public file. The public file is available for review by the public at 1100 Wilson Boulevard, 6th floor, Arlington, Virginia 22209. Weekdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Price Busters is overstocked. Our warehouses are jam-packed, so we're holding an emergency inventory liquidation with the most extreme discounts in our history. Plus, buy it today, get it today with zero, zilch, zip, nothing down. Now at Price Busters Furniture.
Good morning, America. Shake-up at the CIA. New reports President-elect Trump wants to make big changes as the nation's top spy agencies prepare to brief President Obama and Trump on the Russian election hacking, outlining the specific links to Putin.
Winter wallop. 35 states on alert. Wild weather coast to coast. Snow and ice targeting the eastern seaboard as whiteout conditions lead to pileups like this. And dangerous driving conditions across the Midwest. Airlines already canceling flights. A 1-2 weather punch on the way.
A shocking assault live streamed on Facebook. Attackers hold a young man hostage, make reference to the president-elect.
Donald Trump.
Was it a hate crime? 4 suspects now in custody, an investigation underway.
And it's the video you've seen all week. A 2-year-old saving his twin from a fallen dresser. But now critics are calling it all a hoax. What they're saying about that dresser and the camera. Well, the family is here live answering those questions right here on GMA.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, Erica. Boy, that video is still tough to watch, but there are a lot of people online now raising questions about it. We're going to put those questions to family coming up.
They're here live for us this morning. And also this morning, 35 states from California to Vermont on alert for winter weather. Take a look. Conditions near Denver right now. This is along I-25. And then Mammoth Mountain in California. Already a lot of snow. They're expecting 20 feet of fresh powder over the next week. Of course, you know, if you're a skier, that's great, but if you're trying to drive, not so good.
My brother-in-law's out there. He enjoys skiing, so he's going to have a good time there. You know, all this weather is heading our way. We're going to get the forecast from Ginger coming up, but we're going to begin with the latest on the election hacking. Donald Trump becomes president in just 15 days, and there are reports this morning that he's going to be shaking up America's intelligence agencies as the heads of the CIA and FBI prepare to brief President Obama today on Russia's involvement in the election hack. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross here with what we know right now. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, George. The Wall Street Journal is reporting the Trump administration plans to shake up, as you said, America's intelligence agencies, going after what is termed a bloated bureaucracy inside Washington and sending more spies into the field. There's been no comment from the Trump transition team this morning, but it comes as the heads of the FBI and the CIA prepare to deliver their classified findings to President Obama today about what they say is Russia's role in the hacking. Then tomorrow, the same classified information will be presented to Donald Trump in a New York heavily guarded conference room in a skyscraper that officials tell ABC News has now been converted into what's called a SCIF, a secure room impervious to electronic eavesdropping. No electronic devices are allowed inside, including Mr. Trump's mobile phone, so we shouldn't expect any Twitter messages, at least while the briefing's underway, George.
We'll be watching for afterwards. You know, we've already seen President Obama take action against Russia, but this is going to be the full report from the intelligence agencies. What do we know about exactly what's going to be in it?
Well, it's what he ordered, and the U.S. intelligence community is unanimous about the role of the Russians. This report is meant to back that up to answer Trump's skepticism, but key details will remain classified and may never be made public unless Trump, as commander-in-chief, decides on his own to reveal them, which would be his prerogative. But he will hear about the so-called unique cyber fingerprints the officials say implicates the Russians, with the most sensitive information coming from CIA spies and U.S. electronic intercepts that officials say will reveal the direct role of Russian President Putin and how the Russians moved the stolen emails from the Democratic Party to the WikiLeaks website.
So the big question is this report going to be convincing to the president-elect? And if you don't have all of the details, if they don't release all of their sources and methods, will it be convincing to the public?
That's clearly the challenge, to reveal too much would help the Russians shut down any spies or secret electronic intercepts that are in place.
Okay, Brian Ross, thanks very much.
All right, well, George, as the President Obama and President-elect Trump prepare for those briefings, a battle is underway on Capitol Hill over the Affordable Health Care Act. More than 20 million Americans are covered by the plan that Republicans are vowing to repeal and replace. Our congressional correspondent Mary Bruce has more. She's there in Washington for us this morning. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Robin. Well, Republicans have made Obamacare their top target, and they're already taking steps to roll it back. But it's unclear what exactly they plan to replace it with. And now, with just 15 days left in office, President Obama is stepping up his efforts to preserve his legacy. After a health care showdown on Capitol Hill, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. This morning, the big question, what's in store for the millions of Americans covered by Obamacare?
Thank you. Look out for the American people.
The president huddling with Hill Democrats in a last-ditch effort to save his signature law. It's a high-stakes battle. More than 20 million people are covered by Obamacare, and 11 million could be at risk of losing their Medicaid coverage.
We're going to repeal Obamacare and replace it with solutions that lower the cost of health insurance without growing the size of government.
Pence announcing Trump will take executive action on day one. But then what? But why still no plan to replace it?
We have a plan to replace it. We have plenty of ideas to replace it, and you'll see as the weeks and months unfold.
The president-elect, aware of the potential political consequences, is warning his party, tweeting, "Republicans must be careful in that the Democrats own the failed Obamacare disaster," adding Obamacare will fall of its own weight. Be careful. Republicans are promising to phase it out slowly.
We want to make sure we don't pull the rug out from anybody during that transition.
With the GOP still mulling the replacement, Democrats have a message for Republicans. You break it, you buy it.
Now they're going to own it.
Now, despite being adamant that Obamacare has to go, there are parts of the plan that Trump wants to keep, including not denying coverage based on pre-existing conditions and allowing children to stay on their parents' plans. Robin?
And Mary, we all saw that Bernie Sanders, well, he brought an interesting prop to make his point, didn't he?
Yeah, Robin, this is apparently how Bernie Sanders retweets, printing out Donald Trump's tweets on giant poster boards to make the point that he's going to use Trump's words against him. Sanders is urging the incoming president to keep good on his promise to not cut Medicare and Medicaid. Robin?
I think we're going to see that from time to time, Mary. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about this now more with John Carl, our chief White House correspondent. So you saw Bernie Sanders there on the floor. Donald Trump tweeting again this morning, saying the Democrats led by head clown Chuck Schumer know how bad Obamacare is. A real blame game going on here already, but you're starting to see some trepidation on the part of the president-elect about the kind of changes that may be coming.
In fact, yesterday he tweeted that they should let Obamacare fall on its own weight and told Republicans in a tweet, be careful. There's a real realization right now from the Trump team, specifically from Donald Trump, that this is potentially perilous politically because there will be a lot of disruption if you repeal Obamacare, when they repeal Obamacare, and they don't want to get the blame for that, and Democrats want to be sure they do get the blame.
Which is why we see so few details right now, and the repeal of Obamacare, at least as currently contemplated by the Republicans, the ones they voted on in the past, would cause real cuts in Medicaid, which Donald Trump said he wasn't for.
Donald Trump has been specific and consistent on saying there should be no cuts to Social Security and Medicare, absolutely. And that was the tweet that you saw Bernie Sanders blow up. By the way, the first time I've seen a blown-up tweet on the floor of the Senate from Donald Trump, but I don't think it will be the last
Meantime, you're also seeing some differences now between Donald Trump and other Republicans on his seeming to back up Julian Assange of WikiLeaks. I think a lot of Republicans on Capitol Hill hoping after that intelligence briefing tomorrow, Donald Trump will find a way to endorse the findings.
Yes, and here's the thing. Donald Trump will never endorse any finding that suggests that the election was swayed because of the hacking or swayed because of the Russians. But a narrow finding that Russia or Russians were responsible for the hacking, his team seems to be prepared that he will do.
And quickly on these possible shakeups in the intelligence community, we don't really know how extensive that's going to be, but we do have some indications of who he's looking at to head the intelligence community.
And I am told that this is real, that this proposal to change the intelligence community, to strip power away from the DNI, to empower agents in the field, reduce some of the bureaucracy is real. On that, George, he will have allies in the intelligence community. They will support that. These are the kind of reforms that the intelligence professionals have been calling for years. The Assange, not so much.
John Karl, thanks very much.
You want to do a do-over with the dabbing that you did
yesterday? I do a little better, yeah.
You still didn't do it. I gave you a chance for the do-over. A mulligan I gave you. But now to the winter blast. Moving in. Already hitting the west. ABC's Neil Karlinski is in Boulder, Colorado, where they're facing the brunt of this winter storm. Good morning, Neil.
Robin, good morning. I can tell you I'm only standing out here long enough to do this live report, and it is painful. You can see the thermometer we've set up. That's hovering at right around 1 degree. They were predicting more than a foot of snow right here in Boulder, and I can tell you, based on what we're seeing coming down already, they're getting at least that.
Overnight, wild weather from coast to coast. Icy roads and freezing temperatures causing a messy commute in Pennsylvania. At least 10 vehicles colliding in this highway pileup. In the Midwest, a wintry mess. Whiteout conditions in Michigan. Drivers in Kansas City unable to get going. In the West, bitterly cold temperatures combining with heavy squalls, sending drivers into ditches. Storm totals in some parts of Colorado could top 2 feet. In Washington, rescue workers fighting frigid temperatures to rescue 2 15-year-old boys who had fallen through a frozen lake. One boy in the frigid water for nearly 30 minutes before being pulled out.
He barely recognized that I was there. He was very hypothermic. He was not able to extract himself from the ice.
In California, 10 to 15 inches of snow and driving rain, causing concerns of flooding and mudslides.
Driving in, we saw a car in front of us spin out, do a full 180 degrees right in front of us. The driving conditions here are treacherous, and all this is now blowing straight towards the southeast. Robin?
All right, Neil. Airlines are already preparing for delays and disruptions. 4 of the 5 major U.S. carriers are issuing travel waivers. ABC's David Curley is at Reagan National Airport with more on that side of the story. Good morning, David.
Morning, Robin. You're right. Not only are the airlines preparing operational, they are also offering passengers a way to change their travel plans by offering these waivers. Now, it's not a blanket offer, but if you want to change your plans, the airlines will not charge you a fee, which could be up to $200. But this is only in specific areas, the Southeast, the South Central, the Rockies. It depends on the airline. Here are the airlines. If you have a flight, the best advice, check with that airline, see if where you're going is going to be affected by the storm. You may get the waiver. And I got to tell you guys, it's going to be a couple of tough days of flying coming up this weekend.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Let's get to Ginger right now. Got to look at where the storm is headed next. Got a lot of white on that board.
A lot of white, and that's all the states. But look at this. It's already snowing this morning in parts of Kentucky and Tennessee. The winter weather alerts stretch from California through the Rockies, all the way through the winter weather advisories that go into West Virginia and Pennsylvania this morning. Even Atlanta in a winter storm watch. A couple of lows we're watching. The first one is right now in the Mid-South, going to move here by tonight. So along the I-95 corridor, if you're Philadelphia, Baltimore, something to note for the trip home or trip to work tomorrow. And then we talk about Friday, noon, starting in the northern hills of Alabama, Georgia, and then it wraps up by Saturday morning, South Carolina and North Carolina. This is all thanks to, of course, a lot of cold air. Denver this morning feels like you saw 13 below with wind chills, and it's a good thing that they got this guy down. Look at this video, you guys. Okay. This is Sparky the cat. Sparky the cat was up on that power pole for 2 days in a snowstorm, and people felt helpless. They couldn't do anything. The power company came and were able to get him down. He's now in a much warmer shelter.
Yeah.
2 days.
I was nervous as his nickname was Sparky.
I know.
What
are you about to show us?
I know. Yeah. Happy ending there. Yes. Thank you, Ginger. We're going to turn now to South Carolina and the latest on the Dylann Roof trial. Roof speaking directly to jurors for the first time after being convicted. And today, more of the victims' family members will testify. ABC's Steve Osunsami has all the details from the courthouse.
This same self-proclaimed white supremacist, seen here practicing with the gun he used to kill, refuses to let his attorneys do their job, acting as his own lawyer in the sentencing phase of his federal trial. In his opening statement, he tried to explain to jurors who convicted him in December why he's now going against all legal advice and refusing to plead insanity. It isn't because I have a mental illness that I do not want you to know about, or because I'm trying to keep a secret. The point is that I am not going to lie to you. There is nothing wrong with me psychologically. In court, 3 people got up and left in disgust. just too much for the families of the 9 victims he murdered in the basement of this historic black church. On the witness stand, Jennifer Pinckney, the wife of the reverend leading the Bible study, explained how she and one of her daughters survived. They were down the hall, locked behind the second door in this office, calling 911 when her husband was killed. Jurors saw pictures of the reverend at his wedding, when their first daughter was born, and at a Steelers game. He was a big fan.
In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Prosecutors say Roof deserves to die because he's shown no remorse and point to a jailhouse journal they say he wrote 6 weeks after the murders. I have not shed a tear for the innocent people I killed. I do feel sorry for the innocent white children forced to live in this sick country, and I do feel sorry for the innocent white people killed daily at the hands of the lower races.
For the first time, we're hearing laughter fill the courtroom as the families of the victims tell the stories of the loved ones they lost, but not Dylann Roof, who's staring directly into space. He says he plans to call no witnesses and doesn't plan to question any witnesses either.
Boy, George. Such a horrifying case. Okay, Steve, thanks very much. We've got another shocking case. This one's out of Chicago, where a video streamed on Facebook Live shows a young man held captive and tortured. Police now questioning 4 people in custody. ABC's Alex Perez has the latest. We should warn all of you watching, this video is tough to see.
This morning, 4 suspects in custody for their alleged involvement in this disturbing video streamed via Facebook Live for the world to see. The video showing what appears to be a violent assault, a group of 18-year-old African-American teenagers holding hostage a white man who authorities say suffers from mental health challenges, kicking and hitting the victim who appears to be restrained with duct tape covering his mouth. At one point, his attackers even making a reference to the president-elect. According to police, the victim, who was reported missing from a Chicago suburb, was held between 24 to 48 hours before being unbound and let go. That's when police spotted him, disoriented, wandering the west side of Chicago.
They saw clearly that this individual was in distress, and he was in crisis.
Police have yet to release the names of the suspects or file charges, but describe the offenders as 2 men and 2 women, one of whom attended school with the victim.
It's sickening. It's sickening. You know, it makes you wonder what would make individuals treat somebody like that. You know, so I've been a cop for 28 years, and I've seen things that you shouldn't see in a lifetime, but it still amazes me how you still see things that you just shouldn't.
Police now questioning the suspects and investigating whether the incident is a possible hate crime.
If the facts guide us to in that direction, then we'll certainly charge them appropriately.
And authorities say the victim was treated at the hospital and released to his family. George?
Okay, Alex. Boy, that officer said it. Just sickening.
Sickening indeed.
Amy's here with today's other top stories. You've got a report about Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's right, guys. There is a report out this morning that Queen Elizabeth was nearly shot accidentally by one of her own guards at Buckingham Palace. A former guard telling the Times of London the Queen was walking the grounds at 3 a.m. a few years ago because she couldn't sleep, and he mistook her for an intruder. The Queen reportedly said, quote, "Next time I'll ring through beforehand so you don't have to shoot me." Buckingham Palace is not confirming the story. Well, the U.S. military is ramping up its involvement in the battle to retake the Iraqi city of Mosul from ISIS. The Pentagon has doubled the number of advisors helping Iraqi forces, and some of those advisors have entered the city assisting Iraqis going door to door to locate ISIS fighters. Back here in this country, a developing story off the coast of Louisiana. The Coast Guard responding to a fire burning on an oil platform in the Gulf. 4 people on that platform have been evacuated and rescued, and no injuries have been reported. And finally, some basketball fans got the chance to relive the Mariah Carey New Year's Eve meltdown. The San Antonio Spurs mascot took to the floor in a leotard pretending to belt out Mariah Carey's hit song Emotions, but then someone cut his mic. See that? And then he stormed off the court.
It was really funny.
Yeah, the coyote did it best.
Oh, boy, that leotard.
Thank you, Amy. Let's go back to Ginger. Right now, you got another storm brewing out west.
Yes, and this atmospheric river is actually going straight into central and northern California, where they've already had a very wet start to the year, and they're going to get up to 15 inches of rain, some of the highest river levels that they could see in more than a decade. And some of the snow, up to 6 feet in this area. Sierra, not a big deal, but wow, Monday through Tuesday. Your local weather in 30 seconds, but first, the snowy cities, brought to you by Weight Watchers.
Like everybody, I want to live a life that's full of the happiness found in living the life I want, full of the energy that comes with good health, full of the great foods I love. And at Weight Watchers, I don't have to choose between weight loss and living well. I live well while losing weight. It is easier than it's ever been, and not one day have I felt deprived. Most important, it works.
Join for free now and lose 10 pounds on us.
Snow expected to develop later today. First, some flurries and light snow showers after 2 o'clock, a better chance after 7. That's when we could see a few slick patches on area roads. But overnight and first thing tomorrow morning, likely to see some delays with about a coating to an inch expected across the area. And temperatures first thing Friday will be under freezing. So it's not till 10 a.m. when road conditions improve. A very frigid weekend coming our way with wind chills in the teens on Sunday.
Coming up, that ABC News exclusive, the never-before-seen photos and home videos of the Menendez brothers at the center of one of the biggest crimes of the century, convicted of murdering their parents in Beverly Hills. Why they say they did it.
And we've all seen this video. 2-year-old saving his twin brother after the dresser falls. Well, some people now calling this a hoax. Whole family here live to respond. We're going to put the questions to them this morning, right here on Good Morning America.
Can you wait?
Can you wait?
Un poquito más rápido, ¿no? Hasta luego, profesor.
Carlos, Dr. Brad needs to see you in room 3.
That's what I'll call you right away. I need a truck credit in the back.
There's nothing quite as magical as staying at a Disney Resort hotel. So imagine complimentary rides to and from the park, even extra time with your family in the park. And right now, you can save up to 25% on rooms at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels. So if you're not staying here, just think what you might be missing.
When your pain reliever stops working, your whole day stops. Try this. But just one Aleve has the strength to stop pain for 12 hours. Tylenol and Advil can quit after 6. So live your whole day, not part, with 12-hour Aleve.
What's better than $5,000 a week for life? The Publishers Clearinghouse $5,000 a week forever prize. Win $5,000 a week for your life. Then after that, someone you choose gets $5,000 a week for their life. Enter at PCH.com and February 24th, win forever.
Get an Ashley living room set for just $20 for the first 3 weeks. All without credit. Only at Rent-A-Center.
Our blogs are buzzing about the Designer Smile by Colgate. Optic White High Impact White Toothpaste with a professionally recommended whitening ingredient for 4 shades visibly whiter teeth. The Designer Smile by Colgate Optic White High Impact White.
Discover Card. Customer service? Ma'am, this isn't a computer. Wait, you're real? With Discover Card, you can talk to a real person in the U.S. like me, anytime. Wow, this is a recording.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
100% U.S.-based customer service. Here to help, not to sell.
It's all-you-can-eat pancake time at IHOP. So put on your stretchy pants and find out how many delicious, world-famous buttermilk pancakes you can eat. But you better hurry, because all-you-can-eat pancakes ends February 12th. IHOP. Eat up every moment.
From ABC 7 News, this is a Good Morning Washington update.
Good morning, Washington. I'm Melanie Hastings. Here's a check of your top stories. The man accused of firing shots inside a Northwest D.C. pizzeria has a status hearing in U.S. District Court. Edgar Welch traveled to D.C. from his home in North Carolina last month. Now, he says he wanted to investigate a report that Hillary Clinton was running a child sex ring inside the Comet Ping Pong. That report turned out to be false. Welch says he wanted to do some good, but he went about it the wrong way. A Metro employee was rescued after falling 30 feet down a shaft near the North Bethesda Metro station. It happened around 1:30 this morning on Wisconsin Avenue near Elm Street. The maintenance worker got trapped and severely injured his leg. Rescue crews were able to get him out safely after about 45 minutes and transported him to the hospital. Right now, the worker's condition is unknown. We'll check weather and traffic next.
Decor begins here. Belfort Furniture is expanding. Stop in and celebrate the new year with a fresh new look and save on the styles you love. Our remodeling event is on. To make room for our construction crews, we've drastically reduced floor samples, one-of-a-kinds, and special buys. Save on thousands of pieces. Plus, take an extra 15% off all blue tag items. The latest styles, the very best prices. Beautiful rooms begin at Belfort Furniture, Washington's premier furniture mall.
How do you become America's best-selling brand?
Breathing, let's go.
You make it protected.
Just trying to be safe.
You make it hard-working. You make it so everyone's happy. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Get 0% financing for 72 months, plus $500 Ford credit cash on a Ford Fusion. Visit us online or see your Ford dealer today.
I like the Greek yogurt on the left, and I like the Greek yogurt on the right. But with the one on the right, I can afford a vacation with my girl. Hey, Venus, catch! Throw it back! Sorry, never mind.
You'll like them both, but love our price. Aldi, simply smarter shopping.
We'll expect one cold day today with temperatures only topping out at about 35 to 36 degrees. Chance of some snow showers and flurries after 2 o'clock. Better chance after 7 p.m. And that's when we could see a few slick patches on area roads. We've got a better chance with snow accumulating overnight. In fact, I think until temperatures get above freezing tomorrow that we will see some very icy and slick conditions on area roads. A coating to an inch expected and a very cold weekend, if not frigid, with wind chills Sunday in the teens.
Veronica, traffic congestion in the district westbound on the freeway. Delays start at the 11th Street Bridge for the crash at South Capitol Street. We are looking live at Interstate 66. We've got eastbound volume delays as you head into Centerville, on your way to Fair Oaks, and of course continuing across the Capitol Beltway. Beltway delays in College Park as you head into Silver Spring. More Good Morning America after the break.
Value City Furniture presents how to buy the perfect mattress. First, ask yourself, are you avoiding shopping for a new mattress because you think mattress shopping is anything but a comfortable experience? Wake up and head to Value City Furniture. Our unique 3-step process makes finding the perfect Serta or Beauty Rest mattress so easy, you can almost do it in your sleep.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. And that's how to buy the perfect piece at Value City Furniture.
Some of us walk in place. Some of us walk to take us places. And some of us walk to become warriors. Powering more research, more screenings, more access to care, more survivors. Blisters are temporary. Fierce is forever. Avon 39, the walk to end breast cancer. Warriors wanted. Register today at avon39.org.
For the past 60 years, Sleepy's has helped millions of people say goodnight and sleep great.